My name is Rick, and over here is my 10-year-old son Rocco. Guest playing for Canes again this weekend here at the Perfect Game Monster Bash Tournament in Huntington Beach. We are in Westminster currently, actually, at Greer Park, getting ready to face off against Futures Baseball, powered by BH14. That's a long name. It's not going to fit on the scoreboard. But thanks for being here, and we're going to get started here in just a minute as Rocco tries to offload his heavy water on a teammate. Messing around. All right, here we go. Okay, getting started here. Not really sure who's leading off here for Canes. Haven't learned all the names yet, but first pitch of the game is right there for strike one. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and fouled back, strike two. Here is the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. In the dirt, gets by the catcher. He does run, but they're going to put him out there at first base. Fooled on the curveball. That's one out. Okay, Tree steps in now with one out. First pitch, called, strike one, outside corner. Here is the 0-1, down and away, ball one. 1-1 pitch, swung on, hit well, and foul. Here's the 1-2 to Tree, curveball in the dirt, ball. 2-2 pitch, up high, ball three. 3-2, up and in, ball four. Oh, I'm sorry. That doesn't make any sense, but okay, here we go. Full count. 3-2 pitch. Fastball up, ball four, Tree works a walk. Here's the first pitch. Swung on, hit in the air, and it's gonna get over second base on his outstretched glove. Tree is gonna hold at second base, so that batter gets a little bloop single, finds grass. Here we go. All right, first and second now, one out. Batter steps in for Canes. First pitch, inside, ball one. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed, strike one. 1-1 to Carson, outside, ball two. Tree's gonna go three. And he's up there at third base. And followed into second there, number 30. They do pick? No. 2-1 to Carson, inside, ball. 3-1. Ball four, so that's gonna load the bases for Luke. First pitch to Luke, swung on, hit on the ground, and it's gonna get through the 5-6 hole. And we're gonna send the second one. Dominic scores, so that's a 2-run RBI single. Here we go. There's the pitch, right there, strike one on the first pitch. Here's the 0-1, swung on, hit, jammed to second base. They're gonna go two, and that one gets away. And that's going to be a dead ball and score another run. Here we go. And I'm sorry, the runner moves up to second on the ball that was thrown away. So Canes up 3-0, 2 outs here. First pitch, up and in, ball one. Here's the pitch, up and in, ball two. Here's the 2-0. Called, strike one, inside corner. 2-1. Swung on, hit up the middle. That's going to get through. Runner rounding third, going home. And not going to have a play there at the plate. Another RBI on that base hit up the middle. Good job. That's 4-0. Isaiah steps in, runner on first with 2 outs. First pitch to him. Swung on, hit in the air. And first base going for it. It's going to bounce. And he's going to get to first base safely. So that little pop-up in the infield finds a dead spot. Bermuda Triangle. Here we go. They're going to call timeout. Okay, new batter for Canes. First pitch, up and in. Ball one. 1-0, that's gonna be inside. I thought I got a piece of him, but it gets by the catcher and we take second and third there. 2-0 to Ian. Swung on and missed, it gets by, but everybody's gonna hold. Strike one. 2-1 to Ian. Swung on, hit on the ground. Second baseman does field it. Toss to first and puts him out there, so that is 3 outs. Good inning for Canes. Let's go get 3 outs of our own. Let's go, boys. All right, Jacob pitching for Canes here. Rocco currently in right field. First pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground. Shortstop fields it. Throws to one pitch, 1 out. Good job, Jacob. Good job, shortstop. Here we go. All right, new batter, first pitch. Swung on, hit well, and snagged by third base. Who was that? Tree. Good job, Tree. I hope I got that on camera. That's 2 outs. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Here we go. All right, new batter, first pitch. Strike one. Good job, Jacob. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, hit well to right field. That's going to be over everyone's head. Get to the fence. And Isaiah gets there, throws it in. Runner going third. And he is going to have a triple. Sorry for the focus. Nice hit, young man, from Futures, number 2. New batter, first pitch. Swung on, hit well. And that's going to get into left field. And that young man has a base hit. Scores a run for Futures. Here we go. All right, runner on first with 2 outs. They do pick. And he's back safely. First pitch. Oh, he balked. Didn't come set and balked there. Runner on second after the balk. Here's a pitch. Swung on, jammed him. Charged at second base. Flipped over to first for out number 3. And Canes get out of it. Let's go, boys. Let's go hit. All right, top of second. Jacob steps in. Canes up 4-1. Looking to win this one, get to a championship. First pitch is up, ball 1. Here is the 1-0, I'm sorry. Strike 1, outside corner. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat. Pitcher does glove it. Toss to first, and that's going to be 1 out. In steps my 10-year-old son, Rocco. First pitch. Up, ball 1. He steps back in, taps the plate. Looking determined. 1-0 pitch. Blown away, ball 2. Here's the 2-0. Swung on, hit in the air, but that's going to be foul, out of play. Here's the 2-1. Swung on, jammed him. Oh, and the right to the first baseman. That's going to be out number 2. All right, Miggy steps in. First pitch to him. Swung on, hit right back to the pitcher. He drops it, but picks it up. Throws 1. And Canes go down 1, 2, 3 in order. To the bottom of the second we go. Here we go. All right, 4-1 Canes, bottom of the second. Jacob back into pitch. First pitch, swung on, hit on the ground, but foul. Here's the 0-1. Inside ball. 1-1 pitch. Outside corner, strike 2. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and foul. Here's the 1-2 again. Outside, ball 2. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, hit on the ground, and that's going to get through and underneath Isaiah's glove. So they're picking it up at the fence. Runner going 2, and he's going to be in there with a double on the hard ground ball. Here we go. First pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1. Good pitch, Jacob. Here's the 0-1. Outside ball. Gets by the catcher. Runner's going to go 3, and he's going to be in there standing up. 3-1. Just inside, ball 4. That young man works a walk. We got first and third now with no outs. Oh my goodness. I put the camera down. I should know better than to do that with first and third. They tried to stretch that walk to hit second base. They did throw the ball and get him out at second, but then the throw home was off the mark, so they scored a run. Sorry about that. All right, so we got 1 out and nobody on now. Score 2-4. New batter, first pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground, and foul to the coach. Nice play. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, hit well on the ground, and that gets to third base. He throws 1, and the bobble, and he's going to be safe there. Wow, nice try, Luke, on the pick. Pops out of his glove, grabs it, just not quite in time. It's all right, kids, shake it off. First pitch, up, runner goes. Throw is wide of the base, so he's going to be in there safely. 1-0. Low, ball 2. 2-0 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air. And that is going to find grass there. And he picks it up, throws 3. And runner's going to get into second base there. So nice hit, young man. We got second and third. That's a tying run there on second base. All right, second and third now with 1 out. First pitch is down in the dirt, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Down low, ball 2. Gets by the catcher. Runner's coming. And he's going to be safe there, 3-4. Here's the 2-0. Right there, strike 1. Good pitch, Jacob. 2-1. Swung on and fouled back. Strike 2. 2-2. Swung on, hit back to the pitcher. He throws one and gets him there. Runner holds at third base, so 2 outs now. Canes keep their 1-run lead intact. Here we go. New batter, first pitch. Called, strike 1 on the check swing. Here's the 0-1. Down in the dirt, ball gets by, and runner holds. Here's the 1-1. Swung on, he did go, strike 2. 1-2. Swung on, hit, foul, strike, or still 2 strikes. 2-2. Off the plate, gets by, runner holds at third base. 3-2 pitch. He pulls it outside. That's going to be ball 4. And the ball gets away, and it is going to score the run. So it's a tie game now, and that runner's going to first base. Brand new ball game now, tied at 4. First pitch, up and away, runner goes, and he's going to be there safely. He must have got a good jump. 2-0 pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground, and it gets through the 5-6 hole. That is going to score a run, untie this game. And runner on the throw is going to get into second base. Nice hit there, number 7. Okay, new batter here. First pitch. Outside, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Up and away, ball 2. 2-0 pitch. Down and away, ball 3. 3-0 pitch. Right there, strike 1, good pitch, Jacob. Here's the 3-1. Swung on, hit in the air. And caught in left field. Sorry, wasn't sure how deep that was at first. Canes get out of it, but work to do. They're down by 1 going into the 3rd. Here we go. All right, Micah steps in here, top of the 3rd. First pitch, swung on, hit on the ground, and fielded by second base, flipped over to first for out number 1. All right, Tree steps in, first pitch to him, swung on, hit on the ground, fielded at shortstop, thrown over to first base for out number 2. Futures playing some good defense right now. Here we go. First pitch, swung on, hit in the air, and it's gonna bounce. They can't get to it in the infield again. Here we go, so he's on first base. All right, Carson steps in now. First pitch to him, down and away, gets by the catcher. Tree running for Dom, who's catching, is gonna take second base. Here's the 1-0, down and away, ball 2. 2-0 pitch, swung on, hit well, and caught by the third baseman. Nice play, 27. Canes failed to score, down by 1 going in the bottom of the 3rd. Let's go. All right, new pitcher in for Canes, bottom 3, first pitch. Down low, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, hit in the air. And wow, I don't know exactly what happened, but we didn't catch it and we didn't get to first. Sorry, I lost that one. Runner on first, they pick, and he's back safely. Here's the pitch, off the plate, ball 1. 1-0, swung on and missed, strike 1. Pick, they got him picked off, and too slow. He's gonna take second base. 1-1 pitch, swung on, hit on the ground softly, charge thrown, and it doesn't get caught there. Runner's gonna get to third base on the bobble at first. We got first and third with no outs. First and third, first pitch, swung on, strike 1. Pick, and thrown away, and he's gonna get home. They called safe. I thought it was thrown away, but Tree actually had it. Hopefully I got that on camera so I can see it. And they call him safe there as nobody was covering third. All right, Canes, come on, let's clean it up. Here's the 1-0. Or 0-1, swung on, hit on the ground, and it gets underneath second base and underneath right field. Isaiah running to get it. He's gonna pick it up. Runner's gonna get into second base. There we go. All right, new batter, first pitch. Swung on and tipped, strike 1. 0-1. Strike 2, good pitch. Here's the pitch, outside, ball 1. 1-2, swung on and fouled off. 1-2 again, Down low in the dirt. Runner's going 3. He's going to be there safely. 2 and 2. Up and away, ball 3. 3 and 2. Up and away, ball 4. All right, first pitch. Swung on, hit well on the ground. Fielded at third. Thrown to first for out number 1. Going to third. And out. There we go, double play, the 5-3-5 double play. Canes find something here on defense finally. Here we go, let's get out of this. Here's new batter, first pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground again. Fielded at third base. Thrown over to first, good job. They get out of it. Now let's go hit, boys. We gotta do some damage. All right, top of 4, Canes down 8-4, fighting to not go home. Luke swings and misses at the first pitch on a big cut. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and hit a ton. And that ball is gone over the fence. That is a home run for Luke on about 240, 250 foot fences. For an 11-year-old, that's a solid poke. And Luke just hit a nuke. Let's call him Luke the Nuke. Attaboy. Just so you can see, so there's a lower fence in front of the tall fence. So Luke's ball went over the low fence and hit the tall fence, but was out of the park there. Good job. All right, first pitch right there, strike 1. Here's the 0-1. Inside, gets him in the back. Ouch. He's going to trot down to first base. Way to take one for your team, kid. All right, new batter, first pitch. Up and in, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Inside, ball 2. Here's the 2-0. That ball's up, ball 3. Abraham shows bunt, 3-0. Pulls back, sees ball 4, so that's a walk. Good job, Abraham. We got first and second. Okay, Isaiah steps in now, first and second with no outs. Canes got something going, first pitch. Swung on, hit well. High in the air. And it's gonna get over their heads as it just kept carrying. And everybody had to hold on, thought that ball might get caught, so we just go base to base on that high deep fly ball, but we got bases juiced. All right, first pitch to Ian. Swung on, hit well, and that's gonna get into left field, and he does body that up, throw, and the play at the plate, there's no play, that scores 2 more, so Canes down by 1 now. Jacob steps in here. First pitch to him. Swung on and missed, strike 1. Here's the 0-1. That's up over his head, ball 1. 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit in the air. And first base underneath it does make the catch. So everybody holds, that is 1 out. That brings up my 10-year-old son, Rocco here. Back at second. And he's safe, just barely. Here's the first pitch to Rocco. That one is up and in. Isaiah going. He's safe. Ball gets by into left field. Isaiah's going to score. And that is tie game now for Canes. Here we go. The go-ahead run at second base. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit well. And that's going to get down into right field. Runner going home. And he's there. Rocco drives in the go-ahead run. Attaboy, way to go, kid. Miggy steps in with Rocco at second base here. First pitch to him is swung on and fouled back, strike 1. Here's the 0-1, up and away, ball 1. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed by Miggy, that's strike 2. Here's the 1-2, up and away. Oh, called strike 3. Wow. All right, that's 2 outs. Rocco did get to third base. I didn't see that. Good job, Rocco. All right, first pitch to Micah. That one is up, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit well, but caught in left field. Nice play, number 50. So Canes only have the 1-run lead to work with going into the bottom of the 4th. Let's go get 3 outs, boys. All right, Isaiah pitching. First pitch, down in the dirt, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and missed, strike 1. 1-1, down and in, ball 2. 2-1, ball 3. 3-1 pitch, down in the dirt, ball 4. That is the tying run that we put aboard via walk. Here we go. All right, They pick. And almost got him there. New batter first pitch. Down low, ball gets by the catcher. And tying run is at second base now. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, hit on the ground. Throws one. Gets him there, throws three, and it's late. So that is the game tying run on third base now. Here we go, we got one out. Okay, I'm not sure what has been causing this lately, but I've had a number of clips with no microphone. So we got a new batter here, first pitch, and that one is low for ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Called, strike one, outside corner. Here's the 1-1. Down in the dirt, bounces up off the catcher, but over down the third base line, so the runner's going to hold there at third base. Here's the 2-1. No, they pick, and he's back safely. The 2-1 pitch. Up high, ball three. Here comes the 3-1. Outside, that batter works a walk. We're going to have first and third here. All right, first and third, one out. First pitch. Down and in, ball one. Runner from first does take second base. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit up the middle. Center fielder fields it on a hop, throws home. Not in time to cut down that runner. And we've got the winning run now on third base. And number two hits in the tying run. Game tied at 9. Nice swing. New batter steps in. First pitch from Isaiah is down low for ball one. Comes set. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike one. The 1-1 offering from Isaiah is down and away, bounces off the backstop, but the runner doesn't get a good reader. Isaiah comes up with it quickly, and they're going to hold. Here comes a 2-1 delivery. Swung on and missed, strike two. I was trying to move quickly after that last pitch for a better angle. 2-2, swung on, hit back to Isaiah. He flips it home, and the tag, and they say, no, he didn't tag him. Oh my goodness, they say he didn't tag him, and everybody is going crazy. It looked like a tag to me. BH14 on the field celebrating their win. Coach Louie unhappy with the call. What a way to end this one. That is rough. It looked like a tag to me. We'll have to pull the Game Changer video or a screenshot or something. Wow. All right, well, that's going to be the end of this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share our videos, show these boys some love. They fought hard, especially in this one. Some rough defensive moments, but man, a lot of grit there. Please leave us a like, comment. We love seeing them. We love answering them. And we'll see you guys next time, where Rocco plays in the Super NIT for Perfect Game in Las Vegas. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.